So today is on April 11, 2025. I'm a Nigerian transsexual experiencing hate from Black Americans, including their mayor, Eric Adams. My friend who was a Black American was killed trying to help me, and Eric Adams happens to know that guy named Eric Garner. So the police killed Eric Garner while he was trying to help me after the police took my home on Staten Island. So this Eric Adams wants me to be killed like Eric Garner also, because they said that it may be part of the Black Power movement, whereby some Black Americans believe they're more superior to any other blacks in the world due to their association with white America and during slavery. So since this Eric Adams became a mayor, I've been experiencing all kinds of intimidation. Like today, I went to the library and I was reading it's going to use its police to start arresting homeless. Put us in a psych ward. My mother was killed after our daughters, Bolani and Flora, were born in America. Locked my mother up in the psych ward just to try to extort the city of New York, just to get her killed. My mother went to the hospital to treat a heart disease, and the daughters came all the way from Pennsylvania and was lying on my mother that she's crazy, and they was just trying to confuse the doctors to get the doctors to lock her up, and the doctors locked her up to kill her. So our daughters were just trying to extort her. So this is the newspaper I just read in the library saying that Eric Adams is going to be locking up homeless. My mother used to have a swollen feet, and she was having incontinence, due to being old. And it's saying, and Eric Adams now is like, it's making fun of my dead mother, saying any homeless that has a swollen feet should be locked up in the psych ward. And sometimes he calls himself Esther. My mother's name was Esther. And, he's been making fun of my dead mother. And now I've been also arrested after my mother was killed in the psych ward. I've been, and then, after my mother was killed in Bellevue Hospital, as they were moving into the psych ward, it got my mother angry. So they incited panic in my mother and got her angry and killed her. So now I've also been arrested, put in the psych ward, after that. And they stole my green card, and I've been trying to get city ID, and Eric, and they don't let me get the city ID. I went there with documents like my bank card, my welfare card. As soon as I applied for welfare card, they removed the picture from the welfare card. So this Eric Adams is so because right now I don't have any photo ID because they stole my green card, and I'm afraid to go to the immigration office to get it back. Because they say Trump is supporting immigrants if they try to apply for anything, and they'll call it accidental deportation. So I was recording at the library today. There is new policy of his new policy says they're going to be locking up homeless. Here in New York City, and they refused to put me in the domestic violence shelter because my mother's daughters who have U.S. citizenship also abused me, locked me up, and called the police to arrest me after my mother took me to Pennsylvania to stay with those daughters. My mother actually tricked me because she told me to follow her to Pennsylvania, and when I went there, so I was trying to return with my mother back to New York, and the daughters put my mother in the car and run me over with the car and called the police on me, and the police arrested me in Pennsylvania, you know. So I've just been experiencing horror. People using their U.S. citizenship to treat me like an African animal. And this American must have heard about it and they believe it's going to ride on. So anywhere I go, the Black Americans will spray me with air freshener, call the police on me if I try to use any bathroom, either 42nd Street or bathroom at Port Authority. They'll just call the police on me and tell me I'm going to, and they're threatening me that I'm going to be killed like Jordan Neely. Jordan Neely was a Black American that was killed when he was complaining about his mother being dead and him being homeless, and then a white guy snuck behind him and choked him dead. So it's like a reverse discrimination style where Black Americans feel empowered to abuse us Africans. So this Eric Adams needs to be stopped. He's using his police to intimidate me. And so today, after I left the library because I was trying to upload videos at the library, and the library turned off the Wi-Fi. So I left the library and I was standing outside the library, and the guy was trying to run me over with his car. So I ran away. This was in front of the Brooklyn Public Library on Court Street, opposite, across the street from the Brooklyn Federal Court. So there's a street camera there that shows a guy was trying to run me over with his car. I was driving towards me, drove into the sidewalk, and I ran away. So I came, and I recorded it, but that video has vanished. It has vanished from my phone. I recorded it with this phone, and that video has vanished. So as soon as I got into the train station here, Quad Street Borough train station, I noticed there was some police officer with a Spanish guy sitting on the floor, and they were telling the Spanish guy, "Do you want to go home? Do you want to go home?" So apparently, they said and I thought they were just trying to intimidate me because they said a guy called a green card holder like me, Mahmoud, they ordered him deported for activism work. So I guess this happy news Trump has given them, and they're intimidating me, and they're trying to scare me away from New York City and scare me from America. I applied for the domestic violence shelter at the welfare office, but the welfare office they don't want to give me the night shelter. Sometimes they call the police on me and spray me with air freshener. So and Ricardo removed the picture from the welfare ID card. So now when I try to apply for city ID, they told me I don't have any photo ID. I say, yeah, my welfare card is my only ID, and Ricardo, as administration strangely removed the photo from the welfare ID. And I'm also trying to get a driver's license, but I need a city ID first so I can get a driver's license so I can be driving and make money from driving. So they stole my green card in 2019, and in the city ID is the best thing I could get. Yeah, and I qualified for it, but they refused to give it to me. I called the police on when I tried to apply for the city ID. So this Ricardo needs to be investigated for using Black Americans and other ethnicity to harass me. And so I'm going to play the video of the guy that was laying on the floor. And the police was telling him, "Do you want to go home?" It was like a Spanish guy. You know, it was. I'm trying to fast forward the video. It's very. You know. So yeah, so they creating all kinds of panic around me, inciting panic, like to scare me. Because this police also, not these exact ones, but they arrested me in 2019, straight mental illness on me. So they're creating all kinds of arrests around me, and they were telling the guy, "Does he want to go home? Does he want to go home?" It was a Spanish guy. I'll try to see if the volume can be played. Yeah, so that's one of the paramedics saying he doesn't want to go home. So they were saying that to him repeatedly, And I believe there's a threat. And a woman came to me today. I sounded like afraid. She was holding kids. She was like, "Shut the fuck up," So I've been criticizing this Ricardo, and I've been criticizing this Trump, and now they just issued a deportation order against a green card holder like me, so I'm a transsexual, so they're trying to silence me. My mother was killed thereafter. The daughters locked her up in the psych hold. She was getting treated for heart disease. The daughter set her up in what is called a ghetto lottery, where people try to blame the city of New York for harm and get money. So my mother's daughters, you know, try to exploit the city of New York by getting her to the Bellevue. So they confused the doctors, got the doctors to lock up on the cycle. This my mother was crazy. And the police took my home on Staten Island and told my friend I was going to help me. And immigration arrested me roughly in 2000. So I'm trying to sue, and this Ricardo is using his administration to block me, and to the extent they leave me on the street, so I can be killed instead. They don't want me to get any money, and I'm being. Some people are trying to sex extort me. They will be offering me money to have sex with me. I told them no, and I believe they think if I'm killed, they can lie that I had an arrangement with people, and that these people are to inherit my property, and that I adopted people's kids. I'm a transsexual. I didn't adopt anybody's kids, but they said they can lie that they said dead people to tell don't tell. So I believe this is why this Ricardo is trying to kill me for reparation purposes. There's some Black American gangs that are trying to lie on me that that could claim I'm their surrogate. I'm not a surrogate for any Black American. So in case I'm killed, any money they get from the police killing me should be used to get justice for me and my mother, and the rest of the money should be used to help people that were deported from America or any immigrant suffering xenophobia. So I'm not a surrogate for anybody. I don't have any child. I'm a homeless transsexual. I don't have any desire to have any child, and I'm not married to anybody. So I believe this Ricardo is working with some Black American gangs, because sometimes they'll bring kids around me to say mama, dada, to me. I'm like, I'm not your mama, I'm not your dada, I'm not a surrogate. So, but they believe if they can kill me or even incapacitate me. They said this Ricardo must went and built a mental home, where they're going to be housing people on the street. But they refuse to give me a shelter. I don't belong in a mental home. I'm not crazy. I just need a shelter for domestic violence victim due to how my mother's daughters, abuse me and call the police on me wrongfully. So they're refusing to give me shelter the shelter appropriate for me. So I don't belong in a mental home. I'm a young person. I'm 43. So I'm not old. I don't belong in a mental home. So this curriculum needs to be investigated for discrimination against Africans. They said it was allowing African migrants that came here homeless to sleep on the street while the Spanish people were put in hotel room. So it's trying to you say some black Americans don't like Africans. They said Africans sold their ancestors into slavery. So there was a car trying to hit me earlier as soon as I came out of the library. The street camera in front of the Brooklyn Federal Court and in front of the Brooklyn Library will pick it up. So that I recorded that car trying to hit me, came across the sidewalk.